he got fed up. Then finally he gave me one drawing. I said, if you do this, you'll get a lot of business. I saw many people coming and going. So Foundry is
it's a hard
art. I still feel it is an art.
Right.
It is a passion. Anybody who is working today as an employee, maybe a supervisor or maybe a in charge, can, because we also have come from the same background.
He's a real big casting buyer, guys. If you're a Foundry person right here, you're looking for a customer, you have one. So all together, like with the 3-4 companies that you have, what is your turnover today?
Last year we did around 120 crores. Have anybody thought that a Foundry person is going to be on the India Today cover page?
Things are changing.
Things are changing. Foundry is going at a different level.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Foundry podcast. We are here in Belgaum today, joined with Mr. Desai, right? Hi. Mr. Desai is the director of the JD Group, right? He's been in the industry for a while now, almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, about 40 years. Yeah.
Today he's going to cover with us his journey, which is really an impressive one, all the way from starting his first machine shop to his current scenario today. He's buying about 600 metric tons of castings every month. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Almost 600, about 600 plus.
Right. So you have a pretty good idea into what a buyer needs when they are outsourcing castings.
Yeah. Almost what the buyer needs. And I understand the both sides.
Correct. You've seen both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, he's also starting his own foundry now. He's going for a semi-automatic batch quantity type of setting.
Yeah. Basically, you can say almost nearby to atomize. Batch quantity where the volumes requirements are hardly between 2 digits, you can say.
Correct.
Maximum 2 to 3 digits, and where huge varieties from 100 waving from 100 kg up to 700 kg.
Correct.
Single casting.
So Mr. Desai strongly feels that the opportunity today is not in automation but in semi-automation with small batch quantities, and that's where the margins are in machining, value addition, assembly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we're going to learn exactly why he feels so and what his idea is behind starting a foundry for a batch quantity setting. So all that covered today. Let's quickly go into your background because it's a really impressive one, right? So how did you begin your career? How did you get into the industry? Let the audience know about that.
Yeah. So basically, after nobody has done business in my family.
Right.
So basically, we come from a farmer side family. So after my engineering, my parents wanted me to just, do a pretty job, and then that is what they were looking for.
Correct.
So I started my career with, basically I worked in Ashoka and works as a shift supervisor. From there I moved to Pune. I worked in Pune for nearly about 6 months in Greaves, which was earlier known as David Brown.
Okay.
And then that starting something on my own was always there. So that is how I came into business. I moved back to Belgaum, and my parents also wanted me to come back, being a L1 son. In those days,
right.
Like अरे कुठे घरच्या बाहेर जातो.
Right. They wanted you back home.
Yeah.
Right.
So came back to Belgaum and started a small machine shop with one of my partner, Mr. Kamath, and that is how I entered into the business.
So this was what year?
Around 1989.
90. So nearly about 36 years
36
back.
years back, yeah.
Okay. So it's been a while that Mr. Desai has been in business, where at his beautiful home in Belgaum here itself, and he runs a variety of companies today, right? Managed by different members of his family, as we also talk about. So you started in 89 with a small machine shop, right? And what was your first product? How did you start from there?
Basically, we started with castings only. Our core activity from the day one till today also is castings.
Right.
So I started with supplying the alternator covers and some of the motor parts for Kirloskar Electric.
Right.
A plant in Hubli and a plant in Bangalore. Kirloskar, that time it was like Unit 1, Unit 2.
Correct.
And we used to buy castings from local Belgaum foundries. And then machine it. Our basically main thing was machining and selling finished components.
Correct.
So from 10-15 tons, we moved almost to around 70-80 tons of casting supplying to Kirloskar.
Okay. So that was a big number back 30.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll tell you one interesting part is, those days, it's like, we used to give the raw material to the foundry person. We used to also take our own molders. We used to always take our own coreman also.
Correct.
To the foundry. And, they used to allot us, okay, this is this place, this around 500 or 1000 square feet is for you.
Right.
So get your own molders, get your own coremans, and then, so everything like, right from the gating to making the casting okay was all, it was like our job.
Correct. So you also had a very impressive story with Otis. How you got your entry into your first casting with Otis.
Yeah. So see, after, we started business with Kirloskar, and then, we got the news. Belgaum, a very small, it's like a small town, you can say, in those days. We got news that Ashokan was supplying us almost the major casting around 150 to 170 tons. Otis requirement was only catered by Ashokan Works.
Okay.
So, and some castings were done by JP and Allied. So that time, Ashokan wanted to come out of all this small batch quantity, because elevators in those days, elevators was kind of a luxurious kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So it was not an essential commodity.
Correct.
So the volumes were very low.
Right.
And different variants from 6 passengers to up to 30 passengers, 20. So
Right.
different size of gearboxes, different covers, different pulleys. So Ashokan wanted to, they were almost moving with a high
To an automation sort of setup.
automation
Right.
sort of thing with high volumes, like catering the Indian tractor requirements, and then the automotive requirement like
Right.
Telco, Tafe, Mahindra. So when we got this news, I started, in those days, like, getting an entry in a MNC company was a big
Was a
challenge.
big challenge, right?
Yeah, and
Right.
people used to talk like, "Arey, tula entry milali Otis मध्ये."
Especially with no digitization, no WhatsApp, no,
No, exactly,
no
exactly.
social media.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. So then when I got this news, I used to frequently go and visit Otis, and once you see
Right.
a casting supplier, when you go, first question from a buyer will be, so do you have foundry?
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
it was a big challenge for us. Ki I am going for a casting business,
Right.
and naturally, the customer is going to. So I used to tell, sir, we have association. See, association now it has become a very familiar kind of
Correct.
thing.
Correct.
Tie up and association. But in those days, it was like you should have your own capital foundry if you have to
Okay.
do business.
Okay.
So customer, like the day when I said I have my we have association, he said. Never. I still remember one Mr. Nitin Gadkari, not our great politician Nitin Gadkari.
This is a really great story.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
You gotta
So
hear this.
Nitin Gadkari, who was the main sourcing head, he finally got fed up. Almost, I think I visited 10, 11 times to Otis, and then finally he gave me one drawing. I said, if you do this, you'll get a lot of business. It was a.
So he wanted to give you a big challenge to just get rid of you.
Yeah, get rid of. It was a highly critical.
Right.
It was a door opening, closing. In those days, everything was in casting. So
Right.
it was a cylinder kind of casting. Okay, with cylinder around 7-8 kgs casting,
Correct.
but it was almost, you can say, 2 feet long casting, and it should be free of porosity because the oil will be moving in that cylinder.
Right.
And he said, I want this casting with machining.
Okay.
And then fine. See, basically, that is one of my drawback, that I say everything is, sir, I'll do it. So I got the drawing, and we took almost 6 months to develop, but finally we did it.
Okay.
And that was a big change, a 360-degree change. After that casting got approved in Otis, I think finally I had to tell Otis, sir, please hold the drawings, give me some time,
Right.
developing this 150 components.
Correct.
So
So then it was the other way. He was chasing you instead to
yeah,
get work
yeah.
done.
Then
Right.
later on, one by one, I think within a span of almost 2 years, I think we reach around 110, 120 tons of
So
castings.
what is really impressive about that story is maybe you had a lot of resilience, right? You pursued the matter with the castings. It was probably challenging initially to get the machining done. 2 meters is a very long,
yeah.
long
No,
type of
and that too,
casting.
we did it on a lathe machine. Huh?
Okay.
So can you see? Interesting part is we hold the job at the tool post,
Right.
and we had a boring bar between the check and the dead end, and the boring almost you can just imagine 24 inches boring was
Right,
done on a
right.
lathe machine,
Right.
and we could achieve those 20 microns constantly between the both ends.
So basically, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, if you are listening, he has taken your challenge, and he has probably proved his worth, right?
Yeah,
That is what
I
led
think
to-
they are all my mentors, my godfathers, Mr.
Correct.
Nitin Gadkari, Mr. Bal Subramaniam, Mr. Atish Tosh from Otis.
Correct.
So there is a big story, I have a very close association, a very close bounding with Otis.
Correct.
And that is how we started the business.
Right.
And
So take us ahead now. You develop your first casting with Otis. Things go well. They are giving you a lot of work, right? And what happens then for the next I think couple of years?
Then then we started supplying to Tata. Hitachi came into picture. Tafe, before that, Tafe.
Okay.
Almost in 90s, we started supplying to Tafe, Massey Ferguson.
And these are all finished components for
All
various-
finished small components. Again, same story, like Ashokan wanted to come out from Tafe from small components.
Right.
So we took those again as a challenge, some 2-3 kgs, 5 kgs components.
Correct.
And then we started again. The question was again, you don't have your own foundry.
Right.
But by the time, I think we had established a lot of good sourcing activity. We had a team. We had a sourcing team
Right.
who could assess the foundry,
Correct.
the quality requirement, and all those things.
So during this period, you never thought you should maybe you should start integrating, backward integrating, start your own foundry at this point of time?
Yeah, already that was there, because see, as we started growing, that was back of the mind, it was there that we should have our own foundry.
Right.
So we will come to that. 2005 I started the foundry, but again there is there's a big turn in that.
Right.
So till 2005 we were doing good. We were almost reaching 170, 180 tons.
Right.
And then I was supplying most of the major gearbox requirement, the pulley requirement to Otis.
And this is 170 ton of machine components.
Machine
So it's a
components.
huge amount, because to the value addition with machining plus outsourcing, plus you might have gone into some very specialized castings is what you're
Yeah.
doing,
We
right?
basically today also,
Right.
I'm always look for a very highly critical and specialized casting.
Right.
So I'm not into that.
He likes a good challenge.
Yeah. So I'm like, many times customer come and tell me, they say, can you do this? It's a high volume. So no, this is the price. So I don't want to go into that price competition, that already a set component that some our foundry man is doing, our co-partner is doing, and then
Correct.
just for some.
There's nothing new added to the marketplace.
Exactly.
with that, right?
It's only going to be an unhealthy competition, nothing else.
Right. So take us ahead. 2005 comes
So
around.
2005, almost we are supplying around, you can say 120 tons plus castings to Otis.
Okay.
And
Just to Otis, 120 tons.
Yeah. So almost all put together, we were around 170, 160, 170 tons.
Got it. So they were a major customer for you at that
Yeah,
time.
Otis was one of the major customer, around
Right.
90% share from Otis.
Right.
And see, this is a really interesting that December, I still remember somewhere in the mid of December, we were sitting an evening, I got a news that is Otis factory has been sold. So Kandivali,
They gave you no prior intimation of this at all?
nothing. This was nothing. Neither the employees nor the suppliers, nobody were aware about this. And the news was like Otis has been sold. See, it's an MNC company with 26 plants worldwide, who are the pioneers in elevator. How can Indian Otis will be sold? So later we got the news that the Otis Indian manufacturing activity has been sold.
Right.
Because by this time almost all the major elevator manufacturers worldwide had moved to outsourcing, because elevator basically goes in a knockdown condition to the site.
Correct.
And so all these elevator company thought that the design, the marketing and sales after service would
Correct.
be the three major what you call that,
Correct.
their core activity.
Correct.
And that is how they moved their manufacturing 100% to outsource.
Correct.
And that was the plan.
So design, commissioning, and service.
Service.
Right. That was a
and that is what today the elevator industry is doing.
It's still the same.
See, it's still the same.
Okay.
And no, now design also has moved away.
Okay.
Now the supplier come with their own design. It has become like you have a well at your back, and somebody comes and tells us, sir, a motor gaya changle hai. So then like that it has come. So now you can go with your own design, and sir, this is my motor.
That's where your company.
So we have come with our own design Elevon.
Right.
It's a gearless motor.
So we will move on to Elevon. To tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, but before Elevon, I'll tell you. Otis came. Otis, when I went to meet Mr. Bala, who was the MD that time.
Okay.
I said, Bala sir, what is this? He said, yeah, you have to supply to this new white metal, which is a company taken over, and your business will continue.
Right.
But I have something else for you, he said. You wait till evening. And then, I had to wait in his office. And when he said, come, we'll go for a drive. And he said, they said, are you interested to manufacture machines for us?
Okay. So that's a very big leap, coming from you supplying castings to now machining the entire
elevator machine.
Right.
And again, that time my partner was there. So he was always saying, yaar, तू सगळ्या गोष्टी हाच म्हणतोस रे. How you don't know. See, I said, yaar, what is there? Already I'm supplying a gearbox, I'm supplying a pulley, I'm supplying a coupling. Now what is left is a motor and the gear and the shaft.
That's it. That's very simple.
So he said, so it's for, see, even now also now, my children's, my second generation, when they say, Baba, how you say, okay, we will do it.
Correct.
I don't know, maybe, but I said, we will do it. In fact, my partner was really annoyed. That is the main reason he shifted away from me. He said, I will better take the retirement. He was very elder to me.
Right.
So it was a very good understanding. He said, I'll take retirement. But that is how we started. And then Otis team came to Belgaum. And they said, Mr. Desai, we are not going to guarantee anything about this elevator motor business to you as an elevator machine, but we want to do trials at your place.
So this is a theme again. I can see you take up a challenge. A customer gives you the challenge to begin with, and then they allow you some time to prove yourself, not giving you any guarantee or any future return. First you come, show me that you are capable. After that, I will
Yes,
I will
yes,
start
yes. It was
working with
very
you.
clear, and that
Right.
too, we see the fund of cost, quality, and delivery is right from the beginning.
Right.
Naturally, the buyer will always have these three things in mind,
Correct.
which is
Correct.
very important. The QCD is the
Right.
quality, cost, and delivery. So we have to match all these things, and in this again, the machine should successfully run at the site. It is not that you just do the trial in the plant and then the business starts. It should go to the site, it should get installed,
Correct.
and then the performance report should come from the site.
Correct.
And that is how I still have a photograph and the videos of those first machine we manufactured.
Okay.
And Bala sending a telegram message from there, congratulations Mr Desai. And that is how our first machine, we did puja of the first machine. The first machine was sent to Mumbai for installation.
Where's the first installation?
First installation happened in Mumbai.
Is it still live now?
Yeah, it's still live.
Okay.
It's still live. And then, and I'll tell you, after that we supplied almost a lakh of machines.
1 lakh machines.
1 lakh machines has
So
been.
I'd like to congratulate
Thank
you
you,
on
thank
that
you,
achievement.
thank you very much. So right from, you can say, 2000 till date, all geared motors, wherever Otis has installed their elevators,
Right.
the machines has been supplied by Hitech Engineering from Belgaum.
So guys, I don't know if he's lifting your spirits up, but he's definitely been lifting people up for years together. Right?
Yeah.
Almost 1 lakh elevators.
So people, many times, people ask me when I go in any of my elevator, what you do? I said, I take people up and down.
That's it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this happens. It continues to 1
Yeah.
lakh elevators.
And, yeah, elevators. And in the same period, we thought now, almost 150, 170 tons is our requirement.
Right.
And now we have to be committed for the machines. I have to deliver the machines to the customer directly to the warehouses. So I said, any small turnbacks in terms of getting the casting, machine the casting, we will naturally fail on the customer delivery. So I said, we'll start our own fund. And that is how we came up with our own
2005.
fund. 2005, we came with our own ARPA line.
Right.
If you really ask me, I'm a failure in Foundry side that time.
Okay.
Very frankly speaking, because our main focus was on the
Assembly and finishing.
and machine critical machining components. So we really did not have time to give to the Foundry.
Correct.
And imagine 2005. Almost 20-25 years back.
Correct.
A foundry, a small foundry with a 100-ton capacity, you need almost 8 hours intervention. You need to be at the shop floor.
Correct. There wasn't the level of automation or technology
Exactly,
that we have
exactly.
today.
You can run it on your joystick or whatever it is. It's not that easy.
Right.
So everything was manual.
Right.
Though we had ARPA line, and like a owner being like, I had
Correct. It was very personal driven.
Personal driven it was.
Correct.
So I really could not give time, because by the time we had spread almost 4 units, Hitech, Lotus, and then machine shop, assembly shop, where we are committed to give almost 400 plus machines a month.
Correct.
But still we were doing pretty good. Around 70-75 metric tons of castings we were manufacturing.
Right.
Critical casting, which we used to have challenges in getting, outsourcing.
Right.
And our outsourcing by the time had really gone to a next level.
So you were having better success outsourcing castings than manufacturing.
Yes.
It takes a lot of courage, guys, to acknowledge that the fact that his exact complete intuition and his expertise was in machining, in post processing, in
assemblies.
Right. So it basically he deviated to that extent, but it also shows that running a foundry is not an easy job. People think that, okay, I'll start a foundry and everything will be wonderful. And Sharadji, in fact, who introduced us, said that running a foundry is like riding a wild horse.
Yeah.
That's the
But I'll tell you, really, I had many stories to tell you. When we started outsourcing, many used to come, sir, I'm going to start a foundry, or I've started a foundry. So I start, what is your background? No, my father was in income tax, or my father was this commissioner, sales tax commissioner, or whatever it is, or they are into some different business. So I said, foundry, do you have any idea about foundry? No, sir, I don't have much idea about foundry, but I know that, pig iron will cost around 7 rupees and casting is sold at 20 rupees. So the concept was ki 7 rupees of pig iron we can sell the castings at 20 rupees, and a huge market, a big market. So, I saw many people coming and going. So, foundry is
it's a hard
art.
business.
I still feel it is an art.
Right.
It is a passion. I still feel, see, my customers sometimes, say they say we want to go in detail, and we want to see your method card, we want to see this. See, many times this behind is that they want to try to copy what one foundry,
some other foundry's process,
and process, and give it to the other foundry. But I'll tell you, copying Sanju Kapoor's recipe, I don't think you're going to be a
True,
really
true. Even with the same ingredients.
same ingredients exactly. So it's a art. I feel, just you copy some processes and you try to do the same thing in your foundry. I don't think it's
Because you might have noticed, since you're buying a lot of castings, you might have seen that castings, the same drawing, the same pattern from a different foundry looks completely different.
yeah.
The aesthetics, the color.
Everything, the color, the whole. See, I'll tell you, just that is what I'll tell you now. It's still, I feel it's a art. Foundry
Right.
running is art. You really need to have a passion.
Correct.
Just because you have money, you go into foundry. Foundry is really not going to
Right.
work it out for you.
Right.
People nowadays do. They feel that everything can be atomized, start to end. You have everything atomized, and then so you put here raw material, and there you start getting castings. I
out.
don't think that will really. Foundry is a passion. It
Correct.
has to, you should have really interest in the foundry. See, I'll tell you, I'll give you example. Like, from the beginning, whenever we develop any castings, whether we manufacture on our foundry or outsource, even now, when my, now usually I rarely go to the shop floor because my second generation, almost all have joined.
Right.
So I visit once or twice to the shop floor. But even today, some critical castings, if they, is the samples have come, my people will say, sir, sample ala yeta ka bagala. See, when I go and look at that castings, I really fall in love. It's a passion, when you look at the surface finish, you just see it, and then, sometimes, if some critical casting is there, even your eyes gets,
Correct.
like, are,
You feel like this is really beautifully crafted.
Yes, exactly.
Correct,
So
right.
you should love,
Right.
So it's a passion.
Correct.
And I feel, yes, foundry is not a business which should be, taken it so grand.
Commercially.
Yes, commercially.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's really interesting. So I think people will learn a lot from why to get into the foundry business. Actually, I think the why matters more than the how. And the
How?
what.
Yeah.
Right. And also, a lot of foundries today are basically generational businesses. Second, third, fourth generation. Right. We rarely see somebody new coming into the foundry line.
Yes.
So that's also probably why, because they've been groomed in a certain way.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
good.
They are groomed in a certain way that from childhood they see that the father talking about the foundry. Maybe that has developed. So it's
Correct.
very, very challenging. Somebody new coming into the foundry, I think you'll find it very rarely.
Right.
Only the old generation, who
Correct.
have foundries.
Correct.
Are still these next generations are coming up into the business.
What do you say to someone? Maybe they're a plant head, they're a supervisor, they're an operator. How do they aspire to start their own foundry? What is the process or SOP that they should go through to maybe to start one of their own?
Yeah, see, as I said again, if really anybody who is working today as an employee, maybe a supervisor or maybe a in charge, can go for his own foundry, because we also have come from the same background. Many of my foundry friends today who are also have come from the same background. Some earlier were working as a supervisor or the plant head. See, again, as I said, my word will be always that passion is more important. If you really have interest in the foundry, you can go. But I'm telling you, I've seen various foundries, right from a hand molding to high pressure line to ARPA line. Most important is, I'm telling you, two important things is systems and culture.
Systems and culture.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. See, today, now one of my relative, my friend, IH Castings, Mr. Anand Desai, see the way they are moving technology wise such ahead that he has a SOP on the shop floor with a big screen. Okay. So your method card is displayed. What molding is going on, method card is displayed in front of the molders.
On a screen.
On a big screen in front of the molders.
Okay.
So basic thing is that your systems, see, small change, your defects can go up, and there are thousands of defects. And I, being associated with more MNC companies, I have been imbibed that don't blame your operators. I mean, at the shop floor.
Right.
Your systems has to be mistake proofing.
Okay. Right.
And still we don't find that mistake proofing solutions in the foundry.
Correct.
See, today I buy almost my association with Pillai Group.
Right.
We are partners, myself
Kolhapur?
and Kolhapur, Mr. Anu Kumar.
Okay.
So we are, we have association. Apart from that, I buy castings from Lada. I buy from New Melting Center. I buy from Koinur.
To cover your 600 tons, you'll have to be working with a lot of foundries.
Yeah, and we have office in Kolhapur.
Correct.
So I've seen that there's a difference. Like some have method card just to put it in the file. Right. Some are meticulously referring the method card. And I will share my experience that we get some of these castings shifted, almost 360 degrees shifted. I said, how can somebody mold and put a core or the in a totally wrong way. So you know, sir, अरे ते मेथड कार्ड फॉलो नाही केलं. मेथड कार्ड मतलब गेटिंग त्याचं ते लोकेशन
You
चेंज
mean the core is placed opposite?
opposite.
Okay.
No. See, they have modified the core box and the print has been changed.
Okay.
So this, you see, basic thing is, you know, changes will always happen in the foundry.
Right.
Your method card has to be updated. I don't see, you know, I see method people having a method card of 2018-19 and I don't see a revision till 2024.
Okay.
So, you know, basically when you look at the method card, first important thing is you forget what is there in the method card. You just look at the bottom, what is the revision number.
Correct.
If the revision number is 00,
right.
that means
it's not been changed for a while.
It has not been changed for a while. So see, if you are going to really not follow systems in the foundry, I don't think, you know, see, today the biggest challenge is what I'll tell you. I know the both sides of the coin.
Correct.
You know, when I ask my suppliers, you know, when I send them the RFQ and when I ask them for the drawing quote, you know, it comes with a breakup mentioning 5%, 7% rejections.
Okay, on the quotation breakup.
Quotation. See, it's a standard practice.
Right.
Whereas my customers, you know, I actually, you know, whatever they write that 5 or 7%, you know, I have to put it somewhere else, you know.
Because you can't show them rejection.
No, yeah,
or
I have to remove that row and send it forward it to my customer, because the end user will not accept. He will say, why I should pay for your inefficiency?
Correct. Very true.
Okay. At the same time, I know there is going to be
it is a real
story. It's really a fact that there is a rejection in the foundry. Let us keep your atomization. We go outside India, we find people have a auto pouring line. Everything from start to end is atomized. Sitting from a cubicle, you know, cabin, people run the foundry on a joystick.
Right.
Let us not talk about that level.
Correct.
But even at present existing level, whatever our requirements are, whatever I am seeing the foundries, rejection can be drastically brought down with some good practices.
Okay.
And that is pretty enough to compete.
Correct.
Like, you know, I had one Japanese supplier recently who is, you know, who has the same foundry, who has a foundry, like, you know, it's like my story. If you meet the Japanese, you'll feel like, you know, next one more Desai is sitting. So he has his own foundry in Japan around manufacturing.
You mentioned he stayed with you for 3 days.
Yeah, he was with me for 3 days, almost 3 days in Belgaum.
Okay.
So he's like, you know, he has a foundry in Japan. He's almost manufacturing 500 metric tons of casting, and he's sourcing around 1,000 metric tons from China. And now he's sourcing to one of the you know, Toyota, all the Chinese major MNC companies like Toyota, Hitachi, Kobelco.
Right.
Okay. And his customers are pressurizing him that, you know, at least 30-40% of his business should move to, you know, India or any other country, because the dependency on China is almost high.
Okay, so they're actively pursuing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is why he had come, and you know, he was saying that almost 300-400 out of 1,000 tons, 300-400 tons immediately I want to shift.
So this is the same China plus one policy that they're pushing for.
Yeah. So you should have, see, almost all the European and even.
So this is actually practical example of it actually taking place, you know, because we're hearing about it all over the news.
Yeah. I'm telling you, today Europe, America, as well as you can say the even Japanese, if they move even 20 to 30% of the business from China to India, India foundries will have huge,
with almost double 50% increase in
the business. India will have. But I'm telling you, still it is a challenge, because, you know, he had come with the casting samples. He had already shipped the cast before reaching my place. He had shipped the castings. Sir, I'm telling you, that casting is still lying in my factory. It is 100 kg above castings. Many my foundry friends, I call them and ask them, can you tell me how this casting? Some say it is in a shell molding. You look at the finish, you are not able to identify the parting line. And, you know, my customer, this Japanese,
is that well built?
Yeah, well built. And he says it's a regular ARPA casting.
Okay.
In fact, I'll send you photos today. Beautiful. I think India is really not able. Price wise, I think it's fine. We were about to make this deal.
Right.
I took them to Riddhi. So we decided that this component will be manufactured in Riddhi.
Correct.
He said, we will help you. The technical team will come to India. We will help you to, you know, make set up how to make the pattern, the core box, everything was set. Finally, we couldn't match in the price. It was hardly some 4-5 rupees per.
So not only are they making better castings aesthetically, but also at a lower price.
Yeah, much lower price.
Okay.
But I think when I see when our deal got basically, you know, didn't click hardly for some maybe 4 or 5% difference, maximum fighter. So we are close to China in certain parts, maybe 2 high volume parts, where the requirements are in 4 digits or 5 digits, maybe
Correct.
we may not be able to compete China price, but the
Correct.
parts between 3 digits, like somewhere around 500 numbers, 1000 numbers, or sorry, 500 numbers, 400 numbers, I think we are almost at par, close to China.
Okay.
But still I have a doubt whether we have
A lot of catching up to do.
catching. Yeah.
So can you give us a few ideas as to what is lacking with the Indian foundries in respect to the Chinese casting that you had in your experience?
See, I don't know whether overall, if you see the practices of Japan or practices of China's, they follow that mantra is there. They follow the method card, the systems.
Correct.
They don't move slightly 1%, 0.5%
Away from the system.
away from the systems.
Okay.
And there we are lagging. I'm telling you,
Okay.
we are basically lagging. Like I'll tell you, the Japanese guy was sharing me that he had some 600 cores ready
Correct.
for assembly.
Correct.
Okay, but there was a small defect in the core print.
Okay.
Core print, not in the original core print. He said we scrap those core.
Okay.
See, we here print है यार, print है, चलो ना उसको थोड़ा सा
MCL
भरो, कुछ
right,
print
right.
repair करो. Why you are? It's a shell core, so scrapping almost. See that
level of attention to detail.
Yeah.
Right. Is lacking over here.
Yeah. But again, as I always say, I know the both side. We in India, we have to scrap the 600 core again. It is a cost for us because already we are, competitive.
Correct. So those are challenges in the industry.
Yeah, challenges in the industry. Okay. And I feel one more thing which I would like to touch upon is that the way our foundries are coming up, now I see Kolhapur, almost every foundry is with 2,000, 3,000 metric tons. Huge capacity, and then still new foundries are coming up. So like for example, now how we have an understanding, myself and Mr. Pillai, Mr.
Right.
Anukumar,
right.
we are partners. So okay, Desai, you focus on castings, you focus on machining, assemblies, we are there with you for castings. So we should now start getting associated, everybody having additional capacity, there's going to be a price war.
Correct.
And that is what the really situation is right now.
We're basically competing with ourselves in our own hometown.
Yeah. Right. Everybody has an additional spare capacity. We are competing within ourselves, and unnecessarily, unhealthy price. See, healthy competition always has to be there.
Correct.
Because I am a seller also, as well as I am a big buyer also.
Correct.
Naturally, so I know both the sides.
Correct.
Competition has to be, but now we are slowly creating the unhealthy competition.
Correct.
Which is really
right. This is something that you're hoping to change with your foundry. Right?
Your
foundry aims to. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So see, after the basic almost reaching 600 metric tons, we have the major issues in getting the batch quantities or small batch quantities. Critical castings maybe with 2 digits number, almost 200 kg, 500 kg we find, because today still in and around Belgaum, you go up to Coimbatore or you go up to even Rajkot. This small batch quantities, 1, 2 numbers or 5 numbers, still are running with hand molding, no back hand molding, or you can say
very basic, primitive.
Yeah, with CO2 molding, hand molding. Correct. And you are not going to get consistency. Whereas other side, my customer says that, you are giving all these castings, at a different level, but when it comes to this small batch quantity, your castings really look different. Correct. You have a foundry defects in this. And see, now customer is very clear. So all the drawings, they are mentioning that it should be free from the foundry defects. I cannot explain them that sir, these castings are from hand molding.
Right.
It's a small batch. So they say that okay, we pay you. We want all the castings of same level.
So they want a common quality across all foundry processes.
Exactly.
Right.
And whether it is a 4-digit volume casting or whether it is a single-digit volume, they are looking as a whole one.
They already be consistent.
Quality.
Right.
Now at the other side, my supplier who has made this 200 kg casting, and one small blow, he says, Sahib, he kayo evdasha blow you are sending me. Even
I know the struggle.
And it pays for me also, because I already I have done value addition, I've done machining, drilling, and then I find a small porosity in the drilling hole or a small BH.
Correct.
Now it has become a challenge to reject this casting and send to the supplier, because I understand his pain, because I see that hand molding, no back molding.
Correct. A lot of effort. Man-hours has gone.
Man-hours has gone, put efforts in that.
Right.
Other side, my customer says, I will not be able to certify this, because it has to, if I have to certify, okay, up to what level blow hole is accepted, which area blow hole is accepted, lot of our team, our top management.
There's a lot of
paperwork will be getting involved. So every now and then I cannot keep on filling your deviation form and getting your casting approval. So across he says no defects allowed.
Correct.
So many times it has become a challenge. We have scrapped such castings at our end,
Okay.
because neither I could sell it, neither I could give it back to my foundry person. So many times we have scrapped. So we thought that batch quantity, small, the small 2 digits castings, heavy casting is going to be the challenge worldwide, because even Chinese
Correct.
are all are running behind the race
Automation.
of
High quantities.
automation.
Right.
So everybody is looking for high volumes.
Right.
Everybody wants to go for automation, but naturally the projects will keep on coming
For
worldwide.
batch quantities.
So batch
right.
quantities are
Right.
always basically for the project oriented. Or I'll tell you a simple example. See, now Tata Motors, they manufacture, Ashok Leyland, they manufacture small vehicles in a high volume, like 10 tons, 15 tons, 20
Correct.
tons vehicles are in a almost 10,000, 20,000, 25,000. But when you come to 100 tons, or when you come to a dumper,
Right.
where the requirements will be in 2 digits, 10 dumpers or 15 100 ton dumper will be around 10 numbers, 20 numbers. So these customers again cannot go to the existing supplier, because this existing supplier has an auto line
Right.
with a fixed size of
You can't make the same parts in the same
same, yeah.
foundry.
Okay.
They need different processes.
Exactly. So
Right.
even such customers are looking, desperately looking for a quality casting
Correct.
supplier for a small batch quantity.
Correct.
So we thought that already we have an association for high volumes.
Okay.
Pillay is one of our association whom we are totally bounded. We have an understanding. We are partners. And then I have an good association with Lada,
Okay.
with New Melting Center,
For the high volume type of
for the
castings.
high volume type. So we thought now we will go for our in-house. Basically we are finding very challenging for a small batch quantity.
Tell us a little bit about your foundry. When is it coming up? What processes have you used?
Yeah. We have gone for fully atomized, you can say nearby to atomized line, right from the rollover.
Okay.
It's a start to end. It's almost nothing is going to be where you find more human error kind of thing. So that I've tried to eliminate.
And this is what type of sand?
And basically we are going for no back.
No bake sand.
No back we are going.
Right.
So now which no back chemical to be used, because our foundry is at the final stage. Just we did our, as per our Indian culture, we have to have some Vastu Shanti Puja. We did it last month.
Right.
So probably by December we will start.
So you'll be calling me for the inauguration?
Yeah, very much.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
sure.
So this your foundry is going to be catering mainly for batch quantities, right?
For batch quantities.
For your own in-house requirements.
In-house as well as for
outside.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that is the opportunity in the market today, guys. If you're looking to start a foundry, batch quantities, smaller volumes, specialization with machining, very intricate castings. That is something that
Yeah.
Mr.
We
Desai
are
sees
always
the opportunity in.
We always look for that.
Mr. Desai has built a very large business. By the way, they have totally how many companies?
We have 3 companies. One is our parent company, Lotus Engineering, where we supply the machine castings. Hitech Engineering, it's purely for elevator industry. We cater all elevator requirements.
Right.
So elevators require all of finished products. So we are into geared motors. We have our own product gearless machine under the brand of Elevon.
Okay.
So we are manufacturing in-house almost from 6 passengers to 20 passengers gearless machines. So we manufacture some of the critical assemblies like governor. So every elevator requires a governor.
Okay.
It's a safety critical part.
So what is this governor?
I'll tell you. See, elevator runs at certain speed.
Right.
So let us say that any accident takes place, a rope cut or whatever it is, the elevator is going to stay
Free fall.
Free fall. It is going to be free fall.
Right.
So it has to get locked somewhere.
Right.
Governor plays that biggest role. And we have installed more than 1 lakh governor
Okay.
today. So it's a safety critical
So you're
part.
not only lifting people up, you're preventing them from falling as
Down
well.
also, yeah. So and we have our own governors also. So
I never knew about this. It's a fascinating concept.
yeah. We have our own governors, and we have supplied more. As I said, along with every one machine, we used to supply 1 governor to Otis.
Okay.
Now Otis again moved to China for high speed.
Right.
Because we are manufacturing governor up to maximum 1.25 meters per second.
Correct.
So now we have our own product also. So we have our own elevator machine. We have our own geared products, geared machine products. And
So this is your brand,
Elevon.
And that covers Lotus, Hitech,
Lotus Hitech and JD Ferrocast.
JD Ferrocast.
Is
This
our
your upcoming foundry.
Upcoming foundry.
Okay.
And then my brother-in-law, who has worked with Airbus for almost has a 10 years experience with in Airbus. He was basically, after his engineering, he was with me for a few years.
Okay.
And then he moved to design. His interest was in design.
Right.
So he moved to Airbus and he was there in Germany for 10 years. just 3-4 years back recently has come back and joined me.
Okay.
And we have started a company called as Ocean Technology.
Okay.
I'm just a helping hand to him. That company belongs to him.
So what do they do?
They're basically he's into software, developing a software for Foundry, machine
Okay,
shop.
so like a Foundry ERP.
Yeah, ERP.
We'd be really excited to
Yeah,
cover that story.
almost now I'm already started using I'm his first customer.
Okay.
Almost he has few clients in Belgaum.
So right now I think it's a laboratory stage. It's been perfected through your experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I'll just give you an example. Like just last month, already now my Lotus is using that software.
Right.
I just call him. His name is Chandrakant. I said, Chandru, see, even today most of our machine shops, still our employees, the operators fill the daily report.
Correct.
And then that comes to our office, and then the back end people will keep on doing that. Why not we introduce a tab at the shop floor?
Correct.
So that it should be online productivity chart.
Right.
So he said, fine, I'll develop it. So he made those changes, and now the trials are going at the shop
so
floor.
He has like as much of a challenging attitude as
yeah. And I'm telling you now, Foundry is going to start. I said then next is, I said in Foundry we'll do same thing.
Right.
I said in Foundry also we have a practices. Kiti molding zale, kutle zale. I said I don't want any paperwork.
Right.
Let us start this at the shop floor also.
There's no better proof than a solution works as to using it to your own Foundry first.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the biggest proof.
So we have now, when our Foundry starts, our plan is to the shop floor also, whatever the production plan is there will go on the automatically at the tab.
Right.
So it's something like online.
Right.
So you sitting any part of the world, you want to know exactly what molding has taken
place. This is the way that technology is moving in Foundry.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is going to come up. I think we'll do a lot more about that.
Yeah. And maybe next time when you come, you can meet Chandrakant also.
Yeah, that would be really great. So all together, like with the 3-4 companies that you have, what is your turnover today? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, absolutely. We have almost, last year we did around 120 crores.
Okay. So that's a big achievement coming from where you've come 36 years ago.
As a group.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you. And I'm telling you, thanks to my association, we have a very strong association. As I said, right from castings to machining, we import a lot of things. We import today from Japan, we import from USA.
Right.
People export, but we import. We are looking for exports also, no doubt.
So he's a real big casting buyer, guys. If you're a Foundry person right here, you're looking for a customer, you have one. But his quality standards are very high. The castings have to look aesthetically.
Yeah.
He's going to compare them to Chinese qualities, Chinese prices. So that's something that's
We basically see. I'll tell you, it's very quality. You see, today the word starts. QCD customers. Today, see, most of my customers. I'll just tell you. Recently, last month, customer sent me a drawing. It was some steel and forging drawing. He said, sir, I don't make steel or forging. I know, Mr. Desai, you don't make, but you should do it for me. You get it. See, that is a belief my customers have.
Correct.
So I think, that is just, that we have created that
reputation in the
reputation.
Market. Right.
So quality matters a lot. We have our own, we have a very strong sourcing team. Our audits, qualifying a supplier for casting suppliers. Trust me, our auditing team is much stronger than our customers also.
Correct.
Because our customers may come and just audit at the surface level,
right.
But we go in detail. So until my suppliers are qualified, basically, first qualification process itself is
right. That's good.
And then we support our foundries also. We support for audits. We help them.
You also mentioned that a very large margin of the casting buying you leave with the foundry.
Right? Yeah. See, that is the big thing. Why we have such a beautiful association, I'll tell you. But see, basic major of the casting, whatever we are outsourcing now, I think around only 3 to 4% margin we keep with us.
Okay.
The rest is shared with the foundry person.
Correct.
Because we know that is his profit.
Right.
We cannot play with that.
Correct.
See, today no customers gives you a business where you have a margin where the foundry as well as a mediator like me both can share it.
Correct.
No customer is giving that kind of margin.
Correct.
So our basic practice principles are clear. That 95% of the profit will go to the foundry person.
Correct.
We will just keep some 4 to 5% margin as a overheads, you can say, and our main focus will be on earning on machining.
That is also why you have such a strong relationship with your suppliers.
Yeah, machining and basically the value addition like assemblies.
Correct.
So we are very clear on that point. So you keep the foundry man's margin with you, and you try to buy. I don't think.
It's not sustainable. It's not long term.
Even 50% it is not sustainable, I tell you.
Right.
70-80% of the portion should go to the, more than 80% should go to the foundry person.
Correct.
Then only things are going to work.
So thank you, Mr. Desai, for your time. Where can people find you? Where are you most active? Online?
Basically, I'm telling you, we old generation people, you find very rare us on
No,
the.
no LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm on the LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I find very rare on LinkedIn, or I'm on the LinkedIn and then maybe Facebook. But I think I should. Best thing
Website.
is website.
Okay, so we'll put the link to your website in the
Yeah,
description below. You can contact Mr. Desai there. There will be a lot of casting inquiries. You better watch out.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, casting people looking for your inquiries. I mean,
thank
So
you,
that's-
thank you, thank you very much. And
yeah, thank you for your time, Mr. Desai. I had a really good time talking to you. Thank you for inviting us to your home here.
my pleasure.
He has to be at a meeting at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You're rushing
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nalwar
yeah.
today,
We are
right?
going to Tata Hitachi. But I'll tell you one thing: you are really doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Really
Really,
appreciate it.
this is required.
Thank you.
And you are lifting. I think I just shared with you that our Jain Tumburwadi, who is our one of the Foundry in Belgaum, Ashoka and Group,
Right.
who has come on the India Today cover
Right.
as a second tier city billionaire.
Right.
So I think, have we anybody thought that a Foundry person is going to be on the
Correct.
India Today cover page?
Things are changing.
Things are changing. Foundry is going at a different level. AKP, Mr. Bandari, and then I have a lot of people who I'm seeing, the way they are
Rising.
growing. Sachin Submiss. I think people are in Belgaum also. People are
Correct.
exporting.
It's
and
also giving a lot of exposure to Belgaum city as an
Yeah,
industrial
yeah.
hub as well.
yeah,
right?
yeah, very much.
In fact, funny story. I started my career here, by the way.
Acha, you are from
Which
yeah.
My first job was in Belgaum, a few kilometers from here. So that's really interesting. I'm
Good.
really happy to be
So
back.
you are very close associated to, and I'll
Belgaum,
tell you,
with Belgaum.
you should come frequently, meet some of the Foundry friends
Correct.
who are really doing a good job. They are recognized globally. Yeah,
Lot of things to come. And we'll be back for your inauguration in December,
yeah, December.
right? So
Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
we'll see you guys next. Thank you guys for watching. Do check out Mr. Desai. I'll put the link to his website in the description.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.